अरे बंदो मैं तो तेरे पास ना होए मैं झगड़ी बिगड़ी, ना होए मैं झगड़ी बिगड़ी, ना चोरी गड़ास मैं तो तेरे पास मोको कहाँ ढूंढा रे बंदो, मैं तो तेरे पास मैं तो तेरे पास देवल मो ना मस्जिद मो ना काशी कैलाश मो, ना देवल मो ना मस्जिद मो ना काशी कैलाश मो, ना होए मैं अवध द्वार का, ना होए मैं अवध द्वार का, मेरा भेंट विश्वास मैं तो तेरे पास मोको कहाँ ढूंढा रे बंदो, मैं तो तेरे पास मैं तो तेरे पास ना होए मैं किया करम ना योग वैराग्य संन्यास ना होए मैं किया करम ना योग वैराग्य संन्यास हो जयगार तो तब रे मिलूंगा, हो जयगार तो तब रे मिलूंगा, पल भर की तलाश मैं तो तेरे पास मुझको कहाँ ढूंढा रे बंदो, मैं तो तेरे पास ना होए मैं झगड़ी बिगड़ी, ना होए मैं झगड़ी बिगड़ी, ना चोरी गड़ास मैं तो तेरे पास मोको कहाँ ढूंढा रे बंदो, मैं तो तेरे पास मैं तो तेरे पास शहर से बाहर डेरा हमारी, कुटिया मेरी मोयास शहर से बाहर डेरा हमारी, कुटिया मेरी मोयास कहत कबीरा सुनो भई साधु, कहत कबीरा सुनो मैं साधु सब संतन के साथ मोह, मैं तो तेरे पास हूँ। मोह को कहाँ ढूंढा रे बंदो, मैं तो तेरे पास हूँ। ना होए मैं झगड़े बिगड़े, ना होए मैं झगड़े बिगड़े, ना चोरी गड़ास मोह, मैं तो तेरे पास हूँ। मोह को कहाँ ढूंढा रे बंदो, मैं तो तेरे पास हूँ। मैं तो तेरे पास हूँ।
Time is already 4:45. Shall we complete the reading? 10 or 15 minutes. Mataji's love for animals. The ashram cows were reared up by Mataji as her own children. A cow became so fond of listening to her singing Ram Nam in her sweet voice, which she was habitually doing in their presence, that it would not yield milk unless Mataji sang to its favorite tune. She looked after them with the same care and tenderness that she showed the human inmates of the ashram. She always ensured that the floor of the cowshed was kept properly clean and that the cows were properly fed. If any cow fell ill, she took utmost care of it. Mataji made sometimes free gifts of young cows and calves to friends who asked for them. But she would first ascertain that he or she would take proper care, that is, feed it well, house it in a neat and airy place, etc. Only then did she give away the cow with her full blessings. It often occurred that when a cow was given away, it would refuse to leave the ashram and lie down on the ground and would not move, however much it was coaxed. Mataji would not let such a cow go. Once a cow was somehow persuaded to go as far as the railway station. When it was brought near the wagon, it was actually shedding tears. When the report came, Mataji asked the men to bring it back to the ashram. She would also give away or sell the bull to anyone who was not a beef eater. The ashram had also to look after a number of stray dogs that made it their home. When some of them got ill due to boils on the neck and the body, Mataji used to nurse them with love and care. During a celebration, large crowd of devotees thronged the ashram. In the dining hall, crows also in large numbers were throwing a ruckus, disturbing the devotees while taking food. Some pelted stones to scare away the birds. Mataji happened to see this and immediately arranged to get a large supply of biscuits to be thrown in the place of stones. She wanted to appease the hunger of the winged ones also, along with that of human beings. Mataji drew our attention to the fact, this is very important, Mataji drew our attention to the fact that oftentimes in our interaction with others, we hasten some initiatives to solve our problem without any heed or concern to resolve the problems of the other party concerned. Mataji drew our attention to the fact that oftentimes in our interaction with others, we hasten some initiatives to solve our problems without any heed or concern to resolve the problems of the other party concerned. Mataji as administrator or planner. On the occasion of large gatherings, Mataji would throw herself into work and become unmindful of her physical suffering and fatigue. On the occasion of the inauguration of the ashram, the celebrations continued for 10 days and thousands of people from far and near were fed. Mataji, with her frail figure, worked with marvelous zeal and agility in providing food and comfort to all the visitors who were coming like a rushing stream. She was in the midst of this assemblage, a serene, steady, patient and radiant angel, ever busy in ministering to the wants of all. The regular and systematic manner in which she conducted the various items of the program, in spite of her delicate constitution, was a matter of no small wonder. Her equal vision made itself manifest in her loving service of people of all classes and castes, who visited the ashram from time to time. Many celebrations took place in the ashram since then, and by her skillful management, they all proved complete success. Papa comments, Krishnabai is indeed a very personification of divine Shakti. Thereafter, she has been the presiding deity of the ashram. Love with Mataji was not an empty emotion. Every bit of her action was permeated with love. Papa said of her, Krishnabai is wonderfully sincere, frank and calm. She sleeps at a moment's notice like a carefree child, but wakes up at the slightest call of service. She would forego rest for long periods if service claimed it, and still she would remain as fresh and cheerful as ever. When asked to bless and teach, she would reply, I am a child, what can I teach you? Truly, watching her life and all its activities itself was a great lesson in the secret of selflessness and freedom. The building for the boarding home and teachers' quarters attached to Sri Krishna Vidyalaya was planned by Mataji. The engineer friends later admitted that the plan they had drafted for the building did not suit the climatic conditions of Ramnagar, and the Mataji's plan for the boarding home was better conceived. This we realized to be true whenever there were violent storms and rains during monsoon. Almost all the buildings in the ashram were constructed under her able guidance and supervision. She had a wonderful insight into the requirements of a house and provided for all contingencies. With her clear perception and quick thinking, her decisions were appropriate and expeditious. Whenever one floundered over a problem, she would immediately give just the solution needed. When the construction of Birul Papa's room was completed, Mataji wanted a tree to be planted on the west side to provide shade to the room. If a seedling was planted, it would take years to grow. So she thought of planting a mango plant which was already 8 to 10 feet in height, with all its roots intact. Before planting it, she got long, hollow bamboo pieces inserted in different directions, each touching the bottom of the pit and projecting a foot above the ground. After the planting, plenty of water was poured through the 4 bamboo pieces also, which reached the roots immediately, as otherwise it would take hours for the water to percolate from the top to the bottom, even if poured in large quantities. This unique method ensured quick and adequate water supply to the roots of the newly transplanted tree. In a couple of years, it started yielding delicious mangoes. For some years, Mataji suspended all celebrations in the ashram as the devotees did not make proper use of them. Mataji was never in favor of people leaving their home for sadhana. Like Papa, she firmly believed in internal renunciation. She held that sannyasa is not merely leaving the house and relations and putting on akar robes. Real sannyasa is giving up the sense of I and mine. This can be done even while staying at home. The only thing needed on our part is an intense aspiration to realize our Shashwata Swarup, to take Ramnam and to love and serve all those at home and around, looking upon them as forms of Birul Papa himself. Mataji was definite in her views on indiscriminate initiation of young and old into the order of sannyas. She would say, some swamis go on giving sannyas to young and old men alike without taking the responsibility of looking after them and their needs. These swamis should give sannyas diksha to only those who can be looked after by them. The other alternative is that some ashrams should provide accommodation and food to those who approach them with such requests. Otherwise, the government must intervene and stop this indiscriminate increase in the number of sannyasis. Puja Swamiji was telling, she was making a fervent appeal to Swami Chidanandaji, Chinmayanandaji on this subject. The unique tradition of Anandashram of inviting the saints and honoring them was cultivated by Mataji with great enthusiasm. She could never tolerate devotees fighting among themselves over their guru. For her, guru is only one, though forms may be many and teachings may differ according to the period, place and other conditions. Mataji maintained this attitude all her life and exhorted upon all her children to do likewise. When saints visited the ashram, Mataji would be in her element. The reception of the visiting saints and their meeting were priceless occasion for the devotees. Preparations for the visit would begin 4 or 5 days in advance, with a discussion as to where the saint should be accommodated, what type of cot, mattress, sheets should be used, etc. She would also make sure the bathroom and toilet were close by and hot water made available. Arrangements and menu for food, breakfast, lunch and dinner, bhajan programs, time for discourses, everything would be decided in advance. The ashram and its environs would be decked with festoons, buntings, coconut leaves, etc. Whenever any saint stayed in the ashram, it was always a gala day and a feast for all. When the saint arrived, Birul Papa, with Mataji standing behind him, would be waiting at the bhajan hall to receive him. In certain cases, Papa would do Dandavat Namaskar to the saint. In some cases, Papa would embrace the saint and seat him on the special asana in the bhajan hall. If it was Swami Anandashram, the religious head of the Chitrapur Mutt, Papa would make him sit on his own asana while he would occupy a chair nearby. Then Mataji would prostrate before the saint, keeping her head on both the feet of the saint and also holding them with her hands. She would remain in that position for a few minutes. After she rose to her feet, she would with folded hands pray to the saint, I pray that you may be gracious enough to give Sakshatkar to all here so that they may realize their oneness with your Shashwata Swarup. Mataji herself would go to the quarters allotted to him and make sure that all the arrangements were perfectly all right. She would tell him, this is your own house. We are all your children. If the children make any mistake, the mother excuses them. So you, being the mother of all, will excuse us for our lapses and shortcomings. Please bless all of us. If the saint stayed at the ashram for a day or two, Mataji would send some devotees to pray to the saint to fulfill their wish for Sakshatkar or anything they wanted. If Mataji happened to be near the Mahatma, she would also request the Mahatma, Swamiji, please bless them and place your hand on their heads. She would also tell the devotees, do namaskar properly. You all must take the maximum advantage when the revered Swamiji is here. Swamiji is a Kalpadaru, wish-fulfilling tree. So ask only for your merger in his Shashwata Swarup. When you get the Shashwata Anubhav, everything else will come to you. In spite of her multivarious activities, Mataji never owns that she does anything, but says that it is her Papa, that the all-pervading Lord of the universe who is doing all. For the opening celebration of the ashram, the brunt of the work fell on Mataji. She was here, there, everywhere. The celebrations went off smoothly, and none who came to the ashram could know what pain Mataji must have been feeling. Yet, if you ask her, she would attribute everything to her Papa. He is the supreme doer, the supreme prompter, the manager of the whole show. Oh ho, Papa laughed outright. Listen to her, she is the divine mother, the Mahashakti, the cause of all action in the world. Ramdas is only her blissful, carefree child, and he is quite content to remain so. What does a child know except to play and be happy? This child, Mataji replied with emphasis on this, happens to know everything. Happens to know everything that there is to know, and that which is beyond all knowledge. Don't be misled by the childlike pose. Nothing can move on this earth without his will. Nothing can grow without his will. Yet he calls himself a child. That is also his Leela. For whatever she does, she makes Papa responsible. It is her Papa doing everything in her and through her. She attributed her each breath, word, act, and every movement in the world to Papa only. In all her letters to Papa, which was her unique style of communication with the devotees, this is her constant refrain. O Mother beloved, beyond compare, O Mother Supreme seated in our hearts, your nectar of grace pours like the rays of the full moon. Your look is love that gently flows to us all alike. Blessed are the eyes that behold your form. Blessed are the ears that listen to your glories. Blessed is the tongue that adores and sings your praise. Blessed is the mind that revels in your remembrance. Blessed is the heart that lays itself at your lotus feet. Blessed are we to walk the earth that you trod. Blessed are we to inhale the air that you breathed. Blessed, blessed, blessed indeed are we to bask in your loving care. Lead us, adorable presence, to your glory land of eternal being and existence. O Mother beloved, beyond compare, O Mother Supreme, seated in our hearts, your nectar of grace pours like the rays of the full moon. Your look is love that gently flows to us all alike. Blessed are the eyes that behold your forms. Blessed are the ears that listen to your glories. Blessed is the tongue that adores and sings your praise. Blessed is the mind that revels in your remembrance. Blessed is the heart that lays itself at your lotus feet. Blessed are we to walk the earth that you trod. Blessed are we to inhale the air that you breathed. Blessed, blessed, blessed indeed are we to bask in your loving care. Lead us, adorable presence, to your glory land of eternal being and existence. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Tujhe hum. Yes.
तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। तुझसे हमने कुछ है सो तू ही है। एक तुझको अपना पाया, एक तुझको अपना पाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। सबके मकान दिल का मकीन तू, कौन सा दिल है जिसमें नहीं तू। सबके मकान दिल का मकीन तू, कौन सा दिल है जिसमें नहीं तू। हर एक दिल में है तू समाया, हर एक दिल में है तू समाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। क्या इंसान, क्या हिंदू, क्या मुसलमान, क्या मलाइक, क्या इंसान, क्या हिंदू, क्या मुसलमान, जैसे चाहा तूने बनाया, जैसे चाहा तूने बनाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। एक तुझको अपना पाया, एक तुझको अपना पाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। क्या और दैर में क्या तेरी परस्तिश होगी सब जा। काबा में क्या और दैर में क्या तेरी परस्तिश होगी सब जा। आगे तेरे सर सबों ने झुकाया, आगे तेरे सर सबों ने झुकाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया, जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। अर्श से लेकर फर्श जमीन तक, और जमीन से अर्श बरी तक। अर्श से लेकर फर्श जमीन तक, और जमीन से अर्श बरी तक जहाँ मैं देखा तू ही नजर आया, जहाँ मैं देखा तू ही नजर आया। जो कुछ है सो तू ही है, तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया। जो कुछ है सो तू ही है, एक तुझको अपना पाया। जो कुछ है सो तू ही है, तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया। जो कुछ है सो तू ही है। सोचा समझावा देखा भाला, तू जैसा ना कोई ढूंढ निकाला। सोचा समझावा देखा भाला, तू जैसा ना कोई ढूंढ निकाला। सोचा समझावा देखा भाला, तू जैसा ना कोई ढूंढ निकाला। अब ये समझ में ज़ब्की आया, अब ये समझ में ज़ब्की आया। जो कुछ है सो तू ही है, तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया। जो कुछ है सो तू ही है, एक तुझको अपना पाया। एक तुझको अपना पाया। जो कुछ है सो तू ही है, तुझसे हमने दिल को लगाया। जो कुछ है सो तू